it was a complete accident that I was on the show for a start, and it wasn't premeditated at all. And I knew Cardinal Daly, and I used to write the scripts for his stuff, actually. He'd write in a bishop's letter, and it would be given to me to put ordinary, passable English on it at that stage. And we never had any trouble. But I knew that what he was saying wasn't right. And I knew that he knew what he was saying wasn't right. And I just thought that was a great moment for the church, when people were actually interested in us, when people were actually wanting to talk about us after what we had done to children, what Brendan Smith had done to children, what the hierarchy had done by not doing something about it. And I wasn't annoyed, it wasn't anything else. I was dead serious that what was happening to our church, I mean, somebody that didn't love the church wouldn't do that.
And I did love it. You went into the green room.
Afterwards. I went into the green room. Yes. Gay says, come into the green room and make it up. And I says, Gay, I don't have anything to make up. But I have no problem with that. And so Maura Connolly of Happy Memories, lovely lady Maura, and Maura says, Brian, look, there's a couple of phone calls I want you to take before you do that. I said, OK, Maura. So I took a phone call. And it was from, I don't want to be too specific about it because it ended up in court afterwards and somebody put in jail. And it was about, from a young girl, and she was at this moment sitting at home crying after looking at the show, her life ruined by alcoholism, broken marriage. And she says, look, it happened because a priest abused me in a hospital when I was a child. He came in and he read his office each night and abused me while he was reading his office. I was really upset about it. And I did my best. I said, look, I'll have your number. Here's my number in the Grand in Enniskillen. Ring me tomorrow morning when I get home. And the next one, there's another fella from a fella in the west of Ireland who had been absolutely scarified and abused, and he was now pretty much on his first night that wasn't homeless because of what had happened to him in a Christian Brothers school. And those two people, Gay walked out past me, Maura Connolly walked out past me, Cardinal Daly walked out past me. 2:30, I was still in the hall in the phone here. I drove back to Enniskillen that night. And to tell you the God's truth, the Cardinal and the incident didn't enter my head. All I was saying, how am I going to help those people? Brought back whatever happened to me. And I cried.
Because you had been abused.
Yeah, I cried the way home. And I just thought, why wasn't that what we were talking about? And I just said, I wasn't glad that I did say what I did say. Anyway, we did do that, and there was thousands of letters come in, 50% for me, 50% wishing I was go to hell as soon as possible.
Yeah. You went to see Cardinal Daly.
Most of them are priests. The next week, Cardinal Daly went on holidays, so I had to wait till he came back, and I phoned him up and I said, Cardinal, can we meet and have a chat about this? Why, he says. And I said, because people think we're fighting. He said, why would they think that? And I said, well, I don't care how they would think it, or what you and I think, they think it. And I think we need to have a chat. So I went down to his place in Aracheli, and he said, Brian, why did you criticise the church? He said, you should be defending the church. And I said, I will defend what's good in the church, but I cannot defend evil. Don't ask me to defend the indefensible. And I said to him, do you know what's happening in such a diocese? Do you know there's a pedophile ring in such a diocese? Do you know where a bishop so-and-so is at the moment? Do you know all of this? And he didn't know any of it.
Really?
And the poor man went white, and I felt so sorry for him. The poor, he was there in his place in Arachili in Armagh, and whoever was supposed to be keeping him informed didn't. And that's when I got really angry. And we had a cup of tea.